absolutely no one is organized 100% of the time. However, there are several things that you can try and implement and do that will help you not feel like you're flying by the seat of your pants, not feel like you're always 1 or 10 steps behind. It can be so easy to get trapped into thinking that in order to be the most productive, you have to be in constant motion, getting as much done in one day as possible. Limit your list, slash it, and only include your top 3 priorities as the things you focus on each day. Every day this is gonna be different. Today, I need to make doctor's appointments. I need to fold and put away all the laundry. It's piling up. And then I want to start the crock pot and have a healthy dinner for my family ready right at dinner time. Do not feel like in order to be the most productive possible, you have to do all the things and check off this massive to-do list. When you're able to limit your to-dos to a very small number, it forces you to get done what's most important and do those things really well. Use weekends to organize. Now, it's not as easy to organize if your house is full of clutter. It makes maintaining 1,000 times easier, and it makes organizing 1,000 times cheaper. So use the weekends first to declutter, then use your weekends to organize. I feel like a lot of time we feel like I don't have time, I'm super busy, and the week is crazy. We started soccer season and oh my gosh, I was looking for this shirt. I highly recommend using the weekend time, carving out just a few minutes, either to maintain your now organized areas or organize them all together. Think outside the box when it comes to organization solutions. This is an old diaper caddy that my mom made me for diapers and wipes. I'm storing her little Playmobil pieces in here. Repurpose the bins and the baggies that you already have. I came across this random basket. I don't even think it's cute, but man, this is really handy for behind the toilet. I can also give it to my kids to organize their toys. So and once you declutter, all kinds of things will start popping up and you'll have all these empty bins. You can use them. Ziploc baggies amazingly work great. And there's something that you probably already have. So use what you have for now. Do not let that be an excuse to not organize. When it comes to organizing your space, remember the 3 C's. Clear out, categorize, then contain. Sometimes I feel like we want to get organized. We just have no idea where to start or what to do. What are the steps? But definitely declutter first, then put items into like categories, see exactly what you have before you go out and buy storage bins. Again, you can use what you have in your space. You can do this really inexpensively, especially if you shop at the dollar store, which I have heard they have amazing options. It does not matter what your budget is, whether you have a higher budget, you can shop at places like HomeGoods, or if you just need to use the bins around your house, the steps are exactly the same. Designating a home for everything in your house is so helpful when it comes to cleaning and tidying up. It makes things so much more straightforward. It makes it easier for your family to help you, and it just helps things feel less chaotic in general. So here is my pantry that I've shown before, but if you are new, then you haven't seen this. This is how I used to live. This is how I used to live behind every closed door, in every closet. It looked just like this, absolutely full of clutter. Nothing is categorized. It's all jumbled together, and I hadn't contained it. Taking this a step further, I love labeling. Even if your bins don't match, it does not matter. Labeling things makes it so easy to put things away and know exactly where to find them. If you don't have things scheduled out in your planner, it will make you feel like a forgetful person. I talk about how if your house is really cluttered, you will feel like a messy person, even though you might actually not be. You might actually be a tidy person by nature, but because of all this excess, it's making you feel like a messy person. So if you don't keep a planner, if you don't write things down in your phone, you will likely feel like a very forgetful person, when in reality, none of us can keep track of all of that stuff, all the appointments, all the lessons, all the things that we need to get done around the house. No one can. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to keep a planner. Also, make appointments at your last appointment. I love this little trick. It has helped me so much. At my dentist appointment, I will make sure to schedule my next dentist appointment. I do this for myself. I do this for the kids. It works out so well. And then make planning kind of a ritual. I love setting up a little like quiet zone for myself. Like every Sunday, I like to sit down and with my planner, I light a candle. I make everything all moody and nice, and I will do my planning that way. So if you set it up kind of like a ritual, and this is like your sacred time to get some planning done, let your significant other know, maybe you have kids that can help out, and just say, I need 10 minutes. It doesn't take long. Those are a couple of my favorite tips. I feel like one of the reasons we fail at organizing is just because we don't begin. We are fearful that we can't do it perfectly, and then by default, we fail altogether. So if you set progress as your goal, then you will by default win every single time. So remember, there is absolutely no way to achieve perfection, but progress is absolutely possible, but you have to begin. It also makes whatever the task is so much less intimidating. My goal is to, in 10 minutes, make this chaotic, disorganized pantry better. And that is your goal, and you can suddenly do it with less intimidation. If no matter what you do, you just feel overwhelmed, that is your sign that you are trying to do too much, or that you're trying to do too much without breaks. This is part of your productivity. I feel like often we feel like if we sit down, if we try and take a little rest, then we are absolutely not being productive. But you will be more productive if you are rested. Can you give yourself 3 minutes? I know it is really, really difficult. And trust me, I know the life. But if you cut back on your obligations, on the places that you need to be, the appointments that you make, and just give yourself 3 minutes after accomplishing a task, especially if it's one that you haven't wanted to do, like getting the crock pot going or finishing folding the laundry. Just try and carve out a few little breaks throughout the day, and remember that that is part of you prioritizing productivity. Going back to organizing the actual physical spaces in your home, I came up with this Stoplight decluttering method that can also be used for organizing. You are going to come up with 3 different types of organization projects. The green being ones that are quick and easy, yellow meaning it takes a little bit more time, maybe in the 30-minute range, and then red, those are the things that are going to take closer to an hour, maybe an entire weekend, an entire week. When you find yourself in the mood to organize, or you have a little bit of time, you can just pull one of these sticks depending on how much time you have to spend. Know how you're going to reset after a mess. This one is so important because often I feel like we look at an entire kitchen as one giant overwhelming project, and when we're trying to make dinner, how are we going to get in there and be successful at making dinner when everything is scattered about, when there are dishes piled a mile high in the sink? Start with the most difficult thing first. So in this case, I'm gonna say the dishes. The dishes are kind of tough. You have to scrub, you have to let them sit sometimes. But if you have the most difficult task mapped out, you know what you need to do first to reset, and then have everything broken down into small, manageable chunks. Step 1, I'm gonna start the dishwasher. I'm gonna get some of these dishes out of the sink because I can't make dinner when I don't have dishes, or when dishes are surrounding me, it really stresses me out. So I'm gonna get those done. Then I'm gonna relocate some items. Not even gonna worry about sweeping and mopping. Again, we're prioritizing. You don't need the kitchen to be mopped in order for you to make dinner. Do you know what I mean? But the counters do need to be cleared off because you need a workstation. So look at everything as smaller tasks. Break things down. That way, things aren't as overwhelming. And when you start making these small changes, these tiny little habits, let's say, you're able to accomplish more, be more productive, and have a more organized space. My main workstation is my kitchen. So I need to make sure that the dishes are done if possible, and that my counters are cleared off because I need to be able to work tomorrow. That's my main workstation. So what is your main workstation? What is your main workspace? And how can you break it down into manageable, easy to organize chunks and get this space reset every single night so that the next day you are ready to work, you feel clear-headed, more organized, and you can get more done.